Welcome to Book Talks, from books to Botox and everything in between. We hope you enjoy We're Just Girls. Travis, front and center.
We are reviewing This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune.
Love you guys.
Hello, welcome to Book Talks.
Welcome.
Hi, welcome back. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Start of a new week.
So starting with our favorite subject.
Do we need to do like a little
Taylor.
weekly catch up on anything? Is there anything that's like going on in our lives that we feel like we need to update everyone on?
I'm about to go on my bachelorette.
Oh my
See,
god.
we need to talk about this really quick.
I'm so excited. I've been telling everyone I'm kind of an evil genius for this.
Yeah.
We're going to Cabo for my bachelorette, which is already amazing and fun.
But it's July 4th.
But my in-laws, they always do 4th of July in Cabo.
Yeah.
So I stacked them. So I fly into Cabo with my friends. My friends fly home the same day that my fiance and my in-laws come in.
It's amazing.
So I'm going to live in Cabo for like 10 days and it's going to be amazing.
It's like that's
I'm
like the
so
perfect
excited.
amount of time to go on vacation because
Yeah.
you're like ready to come home.
Yeah.
But you feel like you actually got to relax.
And
For
then
sure.
the fact that I get a relaxing vacation after that, I could not have planned this more perfectly. I'm so excited.
It's going to be like R&R after like the party.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
My parents growing up were actually the smartest people ever because my dad always did a work trip for his managers in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
But what they would do is go for a week and do their work trip. And then they would fly us out the second week.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
So they stayed, and it was in January when like it's miserable. We were in Utah at the time, so it's cold there. But like, hint to all the parents, like go on vacation and then get your kids to get you there. Like then
Yeah.
we met them there for another week. They got 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah.
And the first week's like relaxing, and they were kind of working, but like relaxing. And then the kids come and you get to just play. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's
perfect.
genius.
Yeah.
It
I
really
love it.
is.
Yeah. So why don't we all plan 2 week vacations?
Why don't we do it once a month?
Why?
2 week vacation once a month, I think is mandatory.
You should be able to like work half the year, vacation half the year.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of what they
You
do
know?
in Europe. Like in Italy,
Yeah.
I'm kind of hitting that with my wedding. We'll
Yeah.
dive into that on another episode. But like they just don't do anything in August.
Yeah, they shut
just
down.
take the whole month off.
That's like the siestas. They like
Yeah.
when I was in Spain, they do siestas and they shut down at like from like 12 to 3 or something. Crazy.
Literally, no, when we were in Spain last year, it was like everything's closed from like 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like,
crazy.
why don't we all
Such
take
a different
naps
way
from
of
2
life.
to 5?
We need to vote in a president that's going to make 9 to 3 work days for girls and vacations half the year.
Yeah.
For
At
I
least let's
guess,
follow
everybody.
like the school schedule. And
Yeah.
like, take off July and August.
because July and August just kind of suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah, I'm fine
in
with
Arizona. It's hot.
Yeah. What's new with you?
Speaking of vacations, though, after this weekend and watching all of the London Eras Tour content, I've decided I need to go to London once a year.
Yeah.
I know.
so much.
I think it's-
support this for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And they have direct flights. Sorry.
There's a
go ahead.
direct
No,
flight.
go ahead. I'm so jealous of the London show. I wish I
I
was there.
just-
It was so iconic. Like
It's a
I
lot to
can't.
handle.
It's a lot. Like I've been mentally going through it for like the past 48 hours.
I think it's taken me that long to really unpack everything we saw.
yes.
I just still am looking at all the memes and like she's just a genius.
She's a genius.
So
Like
here-
the layers to it.
Yeah, and like everything I see, I'm like more shocked. So did you guys see on her Instagram? So we're talking about obviously Taylor and Travis coming on stage at the Eras Tour in London. So the post that she decided to hard launch. I mean, not
Yeah.
her. Well, first off, we got
Yeah.
a double
Let's-
hard launch.
Let's
in
start
one.
with the first hard launch. So we have a picture of her with
the
one
royal family.
the royal family
of your ex-boyfriend's home
of
country.
your ex-boyfriend
can't.
and situationships home country. What? And it's your
With-
boyfriend wearing an America hat saying like
your
F
hot
you.
A boyfriend
Yeah.
wearing a USA hat.
Yeah.
I love America.
A lot to unpack there. That is hilarious.
This is the biggest middle finger she's ever actually put out.
Yeah.
Maybe not as big as the smallest man who ever lived, but close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this also happened, a week after Maddie Healy got engaged. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, you're engaged to some internet starlet. I'm hanging out with your royal family right now
Yeah.
with my new boyfriend."
like
She's just so strategic. Everything she does, there is a reason behind it.
The most epic hard launch ever.
also, you saw that she took a selfie without Travis. And so the fact that she posted this one with him in it, like, you know, he was in the side.
Yeah.
Like cheering on his babe. Like, yeah, cool, babe. Here, I'll take the picture. And then she's like, here, Travi, come get in the photo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obsessed.
Come join us.
Obsessed.
That's what she chooses to post. Okay, so that's the first thing.
She's a
Okay.
mastermind. Yeah.
Then, and then she decides to post this.
Obsessed.
I just can't.
She's in the background of this photo. So her first photo on her carousel of photos from the tour of that weekend is Travis front and center.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
It was so iconic.
Looking
Look,
dashing.
she's looking dashing, and she is googly eyed at him.
Yeah.
And her caption, what does it say about him? Like,
I'm still cracking up / swooning over Killa Trav's Eras Tour debut.
How did she
Swooning.
keep a straight face when he was doing his dance?
I know.
Never going to forget these shows. Can't wait to do it 5 more times in August.
Like he did so good. Like
Yeah.
I thought
He
he was
dashed
like,
it.
Yeah,
Like,
he
but,
is an
she
actor.
Yeah.
kept her game face on.
Yeah.
like she didn't break character once when he
The
was on
amount
stage.
of symbolism, I just can't get over. So she's in London. Adorable. She's in London.
And in every other Eras Tour, no one carries her to the bed like that. It's
Yeah.
2 people. One carries her head and one carries her feet.
yeah.
And he just full Prince Charming her to the bed.
I
Picked her
think
up
it's
off the floor.
obviously
Picking
like
her up when she's in pieces.
she's a mastermind. It's
She's a
like
mastermind.
him picking her up after her relationship of
After the smallest man who ever
Yes,
lived.
exactly.
In London,
Yeah.
in Wembley. Like playing Wembley is already like top tier level for an artist.
Yeah.
But to be at Wembley in London, the home of your ex-boyfriend and ex-situationship, and your new boyfriend picks you up off the floor after you just sang a song about how much you hate your ex.
It's a lot.
Wait, did
Iconic.
you guys also see Maddie Healy's ex was there and she posted a picture?
She went to the concert?
Yes, she posted a picture of Taylor singing "The Smallest Man Ever," whoever
She was
lived
in
and
the VIP
pit.
tent.
I mean, honestly, you do you, girl.
They've got a lot
Yes.
in common. I'm sure they've got a lot to talk about.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they've got a lot to talk about. It was a lot, and I think that it just shows how equal her and Travis really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that like she can support him at that level and he can fully support her at that level. It's kind of like almost equal levels of cringe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a little chuggy, but I'm like here like the fact that it matches for
Yep.
them is so perfect.
I think this is the first guy that has truly been like so proud to like show her off. Like
Yeah.
him just
Oh,
on
yeah.
stage, like smiling, like in the back. Have you seen that meme where she's
Well-
like marching up and he's just back there like googly smiling,
Just
cheesy.
like hearts in his
Well,
eyes.
did you see the interview? He was like on a podcast and they were like, you know, is it hard to keep it private? And he was like, I don't want to keep it private. Like,
Yeah.
that's my girl.
Yeah.
He was like, that's my woman. I want everyone to know.
Yeah.
Like we love a man that can support his woman out loud in public.
Yeah.
Yes, but not overshadow, like
Yeah.
not overshine.
Yeah.
Like you could tell like he had his little moment and then he went back to his tent.
Yeah.
You know?
It was perfect.
I'm
literally
so
so
good.
so jealous of everybody that got to be there. and
How
see it.
devastated would you have been if you were there the night before?
Oh my god.
I would have lost my mind.
too.
Yeah, lost
Me
my
too.
mind. Which I think maybe this needs to be fact checked, but I think that his brother was there the first 2 nights, but not the third night.
Yeah, which is funny.
I was like, wait, why?
He probably was like, I'm not watching Travis do this. Have you ever seen them on the podcast?
Yes, they're
He was
so
probably like, I
funny.
will not endure this.
Yeah.
I draw the line. He had the friendship bracelets on his ears. You could see Jason's uninterest like shining in his eyes, but you
Yeah.
could tell he was just like there
Supporting.
to be the family member. We've all been at those recitals or
Yep.
concerts or family
Yeah.
parties that you're just kind of
like
like,
you can't. You're like cringing.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm
here to
doing my
support.
thing, but like, cause I love Trav.
Yeah.
But also
So
someone
funny.
said that he had red bottoms and she has red bottoms, so they're soulmates. Isn't that cute?
Wait,
And
that's
none of the dancers
adorable.
did. Like they
No.
got him a custom pair
Yeah.
of Louboutins just for that.
Obsessed.
Do you think he'll do it at another show?
No.
I don't know.
You think it was one and done?
Don't. I kind of don't.
I think the shock factor is what Taylor goes for.
Yeah.
And this is the shock factor.
You're so right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know if she would do it again because, like you said in previous videos, like she's so creative that
She's
she's
so
so
innovative.
You know?
She can't. Yeah.
She's gonna find something else.
But
to
this
do.
was a perfect example of, like you said, how innovative she is.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's vote Maddie Healy on next.
Could you imagine?
He comes marching out.
He
in
comes
the,
out. He's one of the drummers.
in the drummers.
I can't. He would
Let's
love
vote
it.
on.
I did see an interview, side note really quickly, about the black dog. And Ashley, I think you're the most right when it comes to this. Everyone's like, oh, the black dog's about Joe. But you really dissected that song and said that like, oh no, the starting line, all these different things are cues to Maddie. And
Yeah.
I guess in an interview, Joe did say like, oh, I've never been there.
Yeah.
See.
So it's got to be about Maddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, like, Maddie being a frequenter at a pub, yeah, that adds up.
Yeah.
Fact check right there.
Except for I will say the pub was really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
cutie.
It was like a very like upstanding pub. Like there are grimy pubs in London and this was
sure.
not one.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, like it was really cute and like open during the day for lunch.
Oh, adorable.
So I don't know. I don't know. I think Maddie has two
knows?
sides though.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, like
But have you looked up who he's engaged to? Gabriette?
I've seen her.
well, I saw her like what was her like cooking show on TikTok or something? She was like making cooking TikToks or like baking
Yeah.
TikToks.
No, she's so
She's-
different from Taylor.
She looks like she is a Balenciaga model. She
Yeah.
like that is the best way you can describe her.
Yeah.
She's so like pop it girl, e-girl, like bleached
Dark,
eyebrows, dark hair.
Okay.
Kind of like messy,
A little like
for lack-
wayfish too, right?
Yeah.
Like very
Yeah.
kind of thin
Yes.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
and like just nothing in common with Taylor.
the
Yeah.
opposite.
And they got engaged. Well, they must have been dating the same amount of time as Taylor and Travis, right?
Yeah.
So it would be like Taylor and Travis getting engaged right now, which we all want. So I
Yeah.
guess it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
And Maddie Healy's mom spoke out in an interview saying, "This is like the perfect match for my son. I couldn't picture a better daughter-in-law," which I wonder if she's just compensating, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, trying to like kind of like stand up for
Yeah.
Maddie after everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Taylor is so girl next door. I mean, if there is
Yes.
anything for like her and Travis are a match.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you said, they
They're
match
all
each other's
homegrown.
chug. They match each other's freak.
Yes. Like her and her, you know, her and her Travis Kelsey bedazzled jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the games.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matching the energy.
Matched.
No, they really do.
Everyone's saying that she needs to go like play a down of football next season.
They were like, put her in, coach.
She can kick
Her
the
and
freak.
Andy Reid are like best friends anyway. He's
Yeah.
like the coach.
So cute.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess Gigi gave her this like little cat ring, and on one side it has like a number 13 in hearts, and another side it's like 87. I think they're more serious than like, I mean, obviously we see that they're serious,
Yeah.
but I think
Yeah.
they're pretty serious.
Yeah.
I think she
Yeah.
tells her friends how much
Yeah.
she loves him. and
Yeah, I
stuff.
think it's endgame.
100%.
Yeah.
Has to be at this
Yeah.
point. I also saw a TikTok where she was wearing this like Tiffany's ring, which you know how they have that logo that's the T that wraps around, it's another T.
Yeah.
So the ring has two T's on it, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, she got a custom ring that has Taylor and Travis." And everyone's like, "Oh, no, it's just that's the Tiffany logo, but it is
kinda-
cute."
It's like this.
Yes, the
Yeah.
double T.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's custom." I'm like, "No, she could have bought that at any Tiffany store, but it is cute."
Yeah, it's cute and it matched. It worked.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Double entendre.
Yeah.
Love
yeah,
it.
love that.
So funny.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wish I could have heard the conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, I've got the best idea.
What if they're like having a glass of wine? They're like, "What if I went up with you?"
Yeah.
He's
She's
been
like,
itching to
yes.
get on stage.
He's been pitching this for 6 months.
But I guess like it was kind of a surprise. Like her mom and dad didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
I
were
just
her,
found that
wouldn't
out
tell
today.
anyone. I wouldn't. I wouldn't tell family. I wouldn't tell friends. I would make it a complete surprise.
So
Sneak
iconic.
up
You know? Seriously.
Obsessed. I'm so obsessed.
Okay, well,
Speaking of pop culture,
yes.
we talked last week about like Kylie and the Kardashians and everything. and
Unrealistic beauty standards. yeah.
unrealistic body and
Yeah.
face and everything. So did you guys hear about Kylie coming out and saying like, it's incredible that I still have confidence after
Yeah.
everything that everyone said to me for the last decade?
See, I didn't see this video, so you
It's
guys
on
tell me
her-
about it.
So it's on her new. It's on the new show.
On
I
the new
believe.
Kardashians
There's
episode.
a clip, and her and Kendall are talking, and she just breaks down crying.
Yeah.
About how like these thousands and thousands of comments about her and like how she looks, and I think it was after the one look she had on the red carpet where her face kind of looked like almost like droopy.
Yeah.
And people kept talking like, oh, this is like how you look after you like overfill and then dissolve, you know?
Yeah.
And she started crying, just saying that it's unfair that, you know, she just gets critiqued all the time. And it really does hurt her confidence. And like, it's hard for her to like love herself because of all these comments.
Right.
And I mean, I think it's just a tough one because it's like, you know, I don't think Kylie, people are always like, well, you're famous, so you deserve it. But it's like, it's almost like Kim made them famous. Kylie was born into it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, yeah, I can see where she's coming from. Like, to her, she feels like it's unfair because she was just born into this life where
Yeah.
people are just constantly critiquing her.
Yeah.
But
I do feel like Kylie kind of has tried to stay out of the limelight a little bit too.
she has lately.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think Kendall and Kylie kind of throughout their life have always said, like you said,
Yeah.
we were born into this. Like we want to have a normal life. We want to do normal things. Like we're just kind of, for lack of a better word, cursed with this fame.
Exactly.
Which it's just cool to see. I mean, it's awful for her. Like I can't
Yeah.
even imagine the things that she's read about herself. That's
Yeah.
atrocious. But it's cool to see her maturing as a woman.
Yeah,
Like
growing
we've
up.
watched her from literal childhood
Yeah.
to early 20s to becoming a mom to her
Yeah.
frontal lobe developing, and now
Literally.
she knows what's going on, and she can
and
apologize for
the
it.
thing that's the trickiest, I think, about Kylie is like physically, I would say her and Chloe probably have made the most drastic changes.
Yeah.
Like Kylie at 12 and Kylie at 18 are two different people.
Yeah.
Two different faces entirely.
Literally
Yeah.
two different faces entirely. And so it was hard because all these teenage girls are thinking like, am I supposed to be looking like that as I
Yeah.
age? And like, however much of it was her genetics or
Yeah.
beauty, interventions, whatever you want to call it. Like, yeah, it sucks that like society expected that and wanted that, and then
Right.
also like judged her for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I did also like watch a clip where she was like talking to the camera and she's like, you know what? Like, I do feel lucky that I have enough self-confidence to look in the mirror and like say that I think I'm pretty. And I'm like
Right.
looking at her and I'm like, okay, this is just crazy. Because like, yes, we all like critique Kylie and Kendall and all of them, but like if you just put Kylie out there in front of you and you're like, is this person pretty? Like, she's obviously gorgeous.
Drop dead gorgeous.
So I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's sad that she has to be like, yeah, when I look in the mirror, I know I'm lucky to have the confidence to say that I'm pretty. I'm like, really? Like,
Yeah.
that's so sad. Like, you are so pretty. Like, obviously there's a lot of like stuff out there. But like at the end of the day, if you say if she's pretty or if she's not, it's a fact that she is.
Yeah.
So
She's stunning.
I don't know. This kind of like leads into our aesthetic side of things too. But
Yeah.
I want to know how you guys feel. I saw this thing on Instagram about, is it okay as like medical aesthetic professionals to critique celebrities on how they look, what they've gotten done, and just their faces? Because there is a lot of that on Instagram where providers will post, a famous person and they'll break down their face and like,
Yeah.
this is what I think they got done, and this is what I think is botched, and like what they shouldn't have done. And like, I don't know, do you guys think it's professional? It's fair
That is
game?
such a good question.
I feel like, okay, so when I think about this more and more, I feel like there's almost like a line in the middle that separates like professional and like hurtful
Right.
almost.
Yeah.
Because like, for example, a celebrity I often think of is Margot Robbie, who's like the pinnacle of beauty.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's Barbie. She's so beautiful. She comes off very natural.
Yeah.
And I could almost guarantee she's had things done,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like, I think what certain injectors or certain plastic surgeons are trying to do is educate people like, yes, Margot Robbie is beautiful. There's a chance that she got a brow lift, a nose
Yeah.
job. She's had lip filler, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another to be like, good, I don't know, the tone
Yes.
can really change.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, it's calling it botched
Yeah.
or it's calling it like hurtful terms
Yeah.
and not just like education.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The
Yeah.
intent behind the content.
Yeah.
Right.
1000%.
Are you just trying to break it down and say Kylie has too much lips and she got under eye filler
Yeah.
and she got this and it looks terrible? Or are you like educating like, hey, Margot Robbie's gorgeous, but remember she could have had these things done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I think it's so quick for providers to like jump on these trends. Like lately, you guys have seen like the Jennifer Aniston stuff. Like
Yeah.
all these
Oh, poor
providers
thing.
are just like jumping on it quickly and just like, I don't know. I almost feel like, yes, it can go a little too far nowadays because it's like any video that comes out, like we all, since social media is so big, like we all jump in and like grab that and post it on our
Comment.
pages, you
Yeah.
know? And I have seen like a lot of providers lately being like, as professionals, like I feel like we should be held to a higher standard and obviously be able to like study and break these things down. But there's a point where it gets like kind of hurtful.
Yeah.
I think the intent is such a good way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
For
But
sure.
also people are like, hey, they're celebrities, so it's like fair game.
Is it?
I don't know.
I've
Is
seen
it
a lot of
ever
those
fair
comments.
game to hide behind a screen and like tear someone down?
Yeah,
Never,
yeah.
right?
Right.
On a smaller
Yeah.
scale, I was talking about it with a patient today. Like, if you have a friend and you can tell that her lip filler is migrating,
Yeah.
do you tell her?
Ugh,
You know?
That's so hard.
Because if they look in the mirror and think that they're beautiful,
I think you just support them then.
you support them.
It's not
I-
your job to tell
Yeah.
them like what you think looks good or doesn't look
Yeah,
good.
Exactly.
If they were to ask me, I would be honest. I am always honest.
That's where I would jump into. If
I
they
am
say,
always
oh, should I
honest
do
when you
this?
ask me a question.
Yeah, like, and yeah, exactly. Or if
Yeah.
there's like a hole in their shirt,
Yes.
okay, or food in their teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Please, like, if you would want to know, but like also, I don't know, as long as it comes from like a place of love, I
Yeah.
think that like, but also at the same time, I saw a TikToker who like she was like telling a girl she has a bob, and she was like telling someone not to get the bob.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And they took it so mean.
Uh-huh.
But you're like, no, I was just saying, like, you have gray hair. Don't cut your hair. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah.
You're going to offend someone no matter what if you comment on appearance,
Yeah.
I think.
I think some people are more sensitive than others.
Yeah.
I think it's hard because I don't know. It's also, I think it also depends on how close you are with the person.
That's what I came down to. If someone asked me, I would be honest.
Yeah.
If it's my absolute best friend on earth, I'd be like, hey, girl,
Yeah.
I love you more than life itself, but maybe we fix your lip.
But
It's
also,
migrating.
like, it depends on your friendship. Like, I know Ashley. Like, I know
Yeah.
you wouldn't be hurt by this if I said something.
No.
So, like, I would say it. But, like, if I knew you were, like, more sensitive, I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna,
Yeah,
you know?
just let her be happy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I think that's what it boils down to is like your level of friendship and like
Yeah.
making sure it truly comes from a place of like love.
Yeah.
That's really hard. That's a good
Isn't that hard?
question.
I thought about the same thing on an even lighter note with eyebrow blindness. Have you guys seen
Oh
the trend
my
on
gosh,
TikTok?
yes.
Where people are like, I was eyebrow blind. Why
So
did no one
much so.
tell
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Like,
Do you
these
think
girls
people are
had
going to do that
Sharpies.
about lammies?
Yeah, I do.
I'm
in-
lammied right now. I just got
love a
lammied.
lammy. I'm getting one tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
I love a lammy. I think in 10 years, we're going to be like, why did we do that?
What is it with the electrocuted brows? What
Yes.
were we thinking?
What
But
were
like
we
we're
thinking?
all like, I will jump on that trend all day.
Yeah,
Why
absolutely. I
do
love it.
brow trends change so much and so drastically?
Yes, they
Why
are
is it eyebrows?
dramatic.
I don't
What is it about
know.
them?
I don't know.
It's thick, then it's thin, then it's fluffy, then it's not fluffy, then it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if like a lot of people even buy like brow powder anymore because we're all
Yeah.
into lammies and natural feathered brows, you know?
I don't know, but it kind of goes with eyelashes too, which
Yeah.
obviously, I mean this no offense
Yeah.
to you because here I am.
I know.
But eyelash extensions are like kind of out.
They are, but I
right
still
now.
have mine.
I
Yeah.
will never give mine up.
Me either. I'm so sorry.
But I also know though that I am the cringe.
No, but like here's the
No.
thing. Like, no. Because when eyelash extensions, I remember when I met you, you had thicker eyelash extensions.
They
Then
are
when they
much more
started
thin.
going out, you went thinner.
Agreed.
So
Yes.
I think it's like, finding the balance, like going with the trends, but also sticking to things that you like. Like I know I like my
Yeah.
eyelash extensions, but
Yeah.
are those really curly dark ones in? No.
The mega lash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
no
mega
volume,
freaking
mega.
lash,
Yeah.
guys.
The mega lash and the full caterpillar black brow.
I cannot.
I can't.
I can't.
But it was at the front of our faces 5
Yeah.
years ago.
It was
Yeah.
the look. It was the thing
it
to
was
have
like
done.
King Kylie era.
Yes.
Literally.
The ombre brows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so
uh-huh.
crazy.
I know. And now people are like kind of veering away from microblading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're like really talented and can do baby brow strokes.
yeah.
Like, how much tattoo removal do we see with eyebrows?
The-
So
I have
many
probably
now.
one patient a week ask like, do you guys do
Tattoo
tattoo removal for
eyebrows.
microblading? Yeah.
Oh, it's so crazy, guys. Beauty trends are just insanely. They change
It
so much.
is.
It really is. And so, like, always take a look in the mirror and look at your face and be like, does this fit me?
Yeah.
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 And be original. Like literally, if you like eyelash extensions, keep the eyelash extensions.
Ride the eyelash
Exactly.
extension train till I die.
I
I don't
love
even
it.
know what I'd look like without them.
Same. I don't want to know. So.
I don't want to know either.
Yeah.
That's none of my
Ignorance is
business.
bliss. This is not my-
So
no.
moving into our aesthetic section.
It's kind of going with it.
Yeah.
Speaking of all the things we do,
Yeah.
the money we
Cost.
spend.
Cost,
The money
cost.
we spend.
So, Jenny, tell us about the TikTok you saw.
So I watched this video of this girl who was like, I went to get Botox because I met this guy at Coachella and he was an injector and he's like, come get Botox with me. So I guess she's like an influencer. She goes and gets Botox and he's like, he asked her like, where do you want Botox? And she's like, yeah, like I usually do it here, around my eyes. And like, he was like, oh, do you have TMJ? And she's like, I mean, like a little. It's like, okay, but like I feel like I clench sometimes, but it's not bad. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this. I feel like you can use some in your nose, so some in your nose, la la. And like, also like she wanted to try under eye filler. So he was like, okay, yeah, well, we just put little droplets. And he does this whole thing and doesn't tell her the cost, I guess. And she goes up front and they're like, oh, okay, it's $3,000. And she's like, what? And she is shocked. And in this video, she's like bashing everything he did. And I truly think it's because she was sticker shocked by the price. Like she was explaining why she didn't like certain things. She's like, well, I got a bruise here and like he did my chin, but I wanted my lips. And I think those are all valid. Like, yeah, like I didn't like that treatment so much, but I think she had those negative thoughts because he wasn't upfront with her about the cost.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree 100%.
I think both parties are at fault here.
Yes.
I think so too, because aesthetics is so hard. Do you tell your patient cost before you do it?
I think that it is on both parties to be aware of the cost. I think it's uncomfortable sometimes for clients to ask cost. They get nervous and they're stressed. So as the provider, it's your job to make sure they know what they're spending before you poke them.
Yep.
I agree.
Hard rule.
I feel like I'm always going to pretend that I'm in the chair and I would want to know the cost.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to come up here and in front of 5 girls be like so shocked at what I have to pay.
Yeah, for sure.
But there's some providers that believe that they don't have to tell, you know, the client the cost or the patient the cost because this is a medical procedure and, you know, however many units you do is your prescribed units,
No,
you know?
I don't feel good about that.
Me
I don't either, because it's true. If I went to a doctor's office and they told me I need to have this other appointment and that I should try this medication, and I'm going to listen and I'm going to pay for those appointments. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to sign whatever. But when I come here, it's because I'm choosing. You always say it's a luxury to get these things done.
It's all unnecessary.
It's all unnecessary medical procedures.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that hard rule, you do have to tell them. You don't have to have a whiteboard in the front of your spa that says we charge XYZ.
Yeah.
But like you do.
And
like,
it's inappropriate for the client to negotiate, right? Like
Exactly.
we're not like bargaining here.
Yeah. No.
This is what it is.
yes.
These are your options.
And I think it's hard because like you go in for your brows, you even go in for your facial, your lashes, and you know the price. Like you're almost kind of like there's a sticker price on that. You know, it's a one time price. Whereas like Botox, like it's hard because you don't know what your dose is going to be.
Can
Right.
fluctuate.
It's so custom and personal.
Yeah.
It can fluctuate each time.
One thing I tend to do with patients, and I have done this before too, is I do ask, like, if they are coming in and they are working on a budget, I ask what they want to prioritize.
Yeah.
Because I would rather fully treat one area, like in between the brows, and nothing at all on the sides of the eyes,
Yeah.
than like sprinkle and be just generally unhappy with your results.
Yeah.
agree.
Because the one issue with saying, well, I only have $200 to spend, well, then you may not get your desired results.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're going to
And that
think negatively.
conversation, and that conversation just has to be had.
Exactly. And I'd rather have that conversation before than doing it and then being unhappy and then going on TikTok and saying like, well, this, and this happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just, I feel like not being upfront with the cost can lead to so many more issues of them being unhappy with the treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think it's the same thing with like laser treatments though too, is like setting the tone of expectation and like what something costs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not being, I love Ashley. I've been with Ashley before in a consultation when like, this is the cost.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not an uncomfortable thing, but if you know your value and you know what you're selling, like they'll be confident too.
Yeah.
It's like when you talk about Morpheus and you're like, yeah, it's $1,200 for this, like,
Yeah.
that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Because you have to, which that's sticker shock on its own. Hearing those numbers, you're like, oh my gosh, do I want to spend that? Is it worth it? But again, you're paying for the laser itself, my education, my experience. I didn't learn how to do Morpheus yesterday. I have patience with results and techniques that I've learned and trained on that I know it's going to work. So like you have to remember that that's what you're paying for. Same with you guys when you do injectables. Like
Exactly.
you're paying for so much more than just that 1 day, 1 hour.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you're paying for the overhead and the laser payment and the, people don't understand how much goes into aesthetic procedures
And that's how I felt.
and the cost of
Yeah.
them.
About that girl, I'm like listening to her talk and like all the stuff that she got done, and I'm like, I mean, if you really think about it, like that's how much Botox and filler costs,
Right.
Like you just weren't educated, so you're shocked, so you're going on social media and like bashing this person. Whereas like if you were just educated beforehand, like a unit is this much, filler syringe is this much, you can add it all together and it just makes more sense and it sits better with you.
Yeah, especially because
know?
it does sound like, I haven't watched the video, but the person upsold them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, do you have TMJ? Okay, we'll add that on.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to? Okay, we'll add that on.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna
it's a
upsell someone, be
salesperson.
like, okay, like yeah, like we could do your chin today.
Yeah,
That'll
yeah.
cost you this. Are you okay with that? Cool,
Yeah.
let's do it. You know,
I
whatever.
think the power is in the consultation.
Yeah,
So it's like the more you're in depth with your consultation, the better the treatment's going to be.
But a word to the wise, like make sure you're an educated consumer. Like
Yeah.
don't walk blind to it. Don't feel uncomfortable. I don't think it's taboo to ask about price.
I don't think so either.
In any scenario,
Ever.
if you're going to go get your tires rotated, please ask about what else they're going to do before they charge you for it,
So
right?
true.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's in any, hair, nails, eye, like whatever you're doing. Like, take power in your own budgeting and say, hey, how much is this going to cost
like
me?
money is hard to make. It's your
Yes, be
money.
smart.
it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you should feel comfortable asking how much something is.
For sure.
For sure.
You
And
know?
a lot of med spas, like for us example, we do not advertise our prices because we don't want people shopping around
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our price doesn't reflect just the product. Like Ashley said, it's reflecting a bunch of different things, and they don't know what our office is like and how amazing our front desk staff is and what we pay into marketing and Insta, you know, like there's a lot. And so we don't put it out there for people to shop around. And so just ask and be educated.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some places that'll do for trade. How do you guys feel about that?
Oh yeah. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
So I think it's hard. I mean, like, I've been an eyelash extension artist, and when I was doing lashes, I think trade was so much easier.
Yeah.
Like trading for hair or trading for other things that were kind of on the same. Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Trading on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, lash products didn't cost a lot, whereas I feel like if
It's
you're
the cost
doing,
of goods.
Yeah.
yes, if you're doing a lash trade with Botox trade, they're on two
They're not
different tiers.
near the same.
No, because I don't think what people realize is the cost of Botox, even for us, is very expensive.
Yes.
So I can't give it to people for free.
No.
Yeah.
So then it's hard because you feel bad because you're like getting a free service, but they're having to pay. Like trade is really tricky with our industry.
It
I
is.
agree
It
100%.
really is.
Yeah.
Like, even hair, you know?
But even a hydrofacial now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
Like-
don't realize like, oh, well, Ash just traded me for a facial. But like, oh, little do they know, like
How much that costs.
the
the
cost is
tip,
now
the
expensive.
The
everything.
tips,
Yeah.
the serum, the glycol, the everything.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And so just be wary of like what you're offering to people and
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah, know
I
your
think,
worth.
again, being upfront too during the trade. Like, we've traded for a photo shoot before, and we're very upfront with like what exactly we're trading for.
Yeah.
And being very clear so then no one feels shaded
Yeah.
when it comes to finishing the trade.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And
It's
to be
not-
clear, it's not something that we do with our patients. It's like, oh, my hairdresser,
Yeah.
my, whatever. It's not like a,
People are like coming in here asking to trade.
they're like, I'll bring you.
I always say
box of
too,
muffins.
it's like not worth a professional relationship,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, and like we rely on referrals of those girls, and
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we want to be held to a higher standard, and so it's kind of like just pay people what they're worth, and
Yeah.
Exactly. I
But
agree.
you know, but if a trade works for you, then like that's great.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
within the beauty industry, it can burn bridges, and
Yeah.
it can, you know, it's just
It
not.
can
It
get
doesn't
sticky.
always feel fair, and then that's where it gets hard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
All right. Okay. So let's move on from skincare to my
Favorite
fave.
books.
Books.
Okay, so we are reviewing today This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. Carly, do you want to hit us off with your review, stars, spice level, and
Yes.
just a snippet?
So let's start with saying this is not a spoiler-free review. We are going to be talking about the books and like what happens in it. So if you haven't read this and you don't want to know spoilers, move along. It's not like a big cliffhanger book. You're not reading fantasy here, so you're not going to miss out on anything.
Right.
But it is, I love Carly Fortune's storytelling.
Okay.
So she sets the tone. She's on Prince Edward
Yeah,
Island.
yeah.
Why don't I live back east?
I'm so ready
Why
to
have I
move.
not
I know.
vacationed in Montauk
Yeah.
or in Prince Edward Island yet? What did you do immediately after you read it?
I went and ate oysters and pretended that I was on a beach.
Yeah, exactly. She does a phenomenal job. If you need a beach read that literally transports you to another location,
This is it.
this
This
is
is
it.
the one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The main male character's name is Felix. Haven't heard that? Obsessed with it.
You love it.
Why do I love the name Felix?
You love him. I think you love the character.
You didn't like him.
Okay. I didn't not like him. I'll go into mine. Give us your rating.
Okay, so I gave it 4 stars.
Okay, spice level.
Only 1.5 chili peppers.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because there's only like one open door scene,
Yeah.
I would say. And it wasn't like, it was just alluded. It
Yeah,
didn't like
yeah.
really comment on it.
And like overall, like, did you enjoy it? Like, what was your favorite part about
I
it?
definitely, what I love when this book has like an ending that you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I love books that go from the past to the present to the past to the present because you're like, why are they going to end up? And like, of course I knew they were going to end up together, but you're like, I'm dying to know. Like there were so many like question marks
Yeah.
throughout the book waiting to be answered. And if
Yeah.
there's no question marks, sometimes I'm just bored.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're like, okay, I know
Right?
you're gonna
Yeah.
end
Like
up
I
together.
love that Carly leaves question marks in this book. For example, it was she had like an aunt that passed away, and the whole time her best friend has this secret.
Yeah.
And so you're like, what's the secret? Like, was the aunt had a role in it?
Yeah.
And her and Felix essentially secretly hook up every summer for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Right? 5 years?
Yeah.
Five or 7.
Yeah.
She meets him not knowing it's her best friend's brother, and they hook up one time, and she just says they just like feel this spark, like, but then she has to hide it from her best friend.
Yeah.
And then her best friend, like, anyway, is in crisis mode and needs her, and they all have to spend the weekend together, and it's kind of like rekindling their love. I don't love when the main female character doesn't, like, not that she didn't have her shiz together, but she just was like a head case a little bit.
She's messy. She's messy.
She was messy.
Yeah.
She was
Like
messy,
a
and she didn't
Serena
know
Van
what
Woodson?
she wanted, and Felix was solid.
Yeah.
Always solid. His feelings never unwavered, and he was the iron rod.
See,
That's a Mormon reference
I
if you don't know.
feel
That she held on to, and like he still was even there for her when she was like, she like totally love dumped on him and like was all over the place, and he just was like, okay, I'm here for you. Like, but you had a problem with that.
So I gave the book 4 stars. I really did love it for, like you said, it transports you to another place. I love Carly Fortune's books because she does have those questions, and I do feel like I'm not the type of person that can just read a contemporary romance with no question at the beginning.
Right.
Like
No.
there has to be a reveal, you know, to keep me pulled in. So there's 2 relationships in the book. Felix and Lucy. Lucy and Bridget, the 2 best friends.
Yeah, so the best friend's name's Bridget. The main girl is Lucy.
I personally was here for the girl friendship. I loved how it evolved so much more than Felix and Lucy. I think Lucy was very messy and she did not have her stuff together, but I didn't think that Felix was like, I want someone that has like urgency and is going to like take action, and he just wasn't that. Like he always just sat back and like let things go with the flow, and I'm like,
Because he could see how mushy she was.
yeah, exactly. I think he wanted her to figure out her stuff.
He did. He knew she needed to like grow.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
already went through heartbreak. At the beginning of the book, it talks about he was engaged and they broke up, and they met like right after he broke up off this engagement. So like through those 5 years, like he kind of got through all his stuff, and she did not.
Yeah. I did love how it ended. I really did. I think I wish they gave a little bit more time for Lucy to be on her own at the end to figure out her stuff, but they only gave her like a couple months alone and single, and then she like moved to
There was a
PBS.
3rd act breakup. Like after Lucy loves dumps on Felix, he's like, you need to figure yourself out.
Yeah.
So he goes back to Prince Edward Island. She's in Toronto, and she does live on her own for a few months.
Yes. It should have been like, I think it should have been like a year or more, honestly, but I thought it was so
But he just like loved her through the whole time. He never left her. He never broke up with her.
Yeah.
He just sent her seeds and books and sweet messages.
I think she's so
sweet
good.
soul.
He is a sweet soul. You would love this
Gosh,
book.
I can't
I
wait to
know.
read. I'm still
Yes.
gonna read it, even with spoilers. I'm reading it.
Honestly,
you will
it's
love it.
Great.
Like,
I love Carly Fortune.
I think I loved Felix because he kind of reminded me of Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas was like strong and steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I one time tried to break up with Dallas.
Yeah.
When we very first like started dating, and he was like, "That's
No.
stupid. We're not gonna break up." And I was
He
like,
was
"But
like,
I kind of
"That's
want to date
silly."
other people." And he was like, "No, you don't."
This is Felix.
If Dallas were here, he'd say that never happened, but it did happen.
Let the record show.
Let the record show.
This is literally
But that
Felix.
was Felix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
they just started like Dallas was no drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felix was no drama.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't any drama. I think she writes so well. I love all of her books. I feel like she always has that question at the beginning, and at the end she wraps it up so freaking well.
Is she the author that commonly has a cheating trope?
Yes.
Yes.
Was there one?
No, thank heavens.
There
Love.
wasn't. And like I heard her first book is great. Her second isn't that good, and this one just is so good.
The female
yeah.
friendship was really special.
It
I
was.
was gonna say
really
I love
sweet.
what like you each took something different from it, which is
Yeah.
cool. Like you
Yeah.
loved the love interest and you
Yeah,
loved the
see,
female
I love
friendship.
when
That's cool.
1000%.
Yeah.
I literally read this book, reached out to my best friend after, and was like, let's go to dinner because I hadn't seen her in so long. And I was like, it just gives you that, like, I don't know.
Warm fuzzy. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
and
that.
how important like found family can be. I know that's like cheesy, but like sometimes friendships can be like fill holes that sometimes like your family doesn't.
Yeah,
fill,
Exactly.
you know? Like it
So
was really
fulfilling.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really good book.
I love that.
I know. You'll have to read it.
Ash is going to read it and then give us her little excerpt when she
I
does.
will,
But
yes.
if you haven't read it yet, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune was 4 out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
So good.
1 star, spice. Carly Fortune, can you put a little bit more spice in your books?
I felt like her
a
other books were
sprinkle.
maybe a little
Yeah.
spicier. I thought this one was maybe more mellow.
It was very mellow.
But
There's
it didn't bother me.
There's that one mirror scene though but it's not enough info still.
No,
You know?
no detail.
Okay, so
Burning
Carly's
question.
having this issue right now.
Yeah,
Why is it so hard to pick the next book you're gonna read?
Why is it so hard?
it is.
We were talking about it with one of our patients today, though, and we've said it before. Why are fantasy series sometimes so daunting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are.
It
but
is.
like also, I think when I'm picking the next book to read, I'm like going through TikToks to make sure it's going to be the one that I want to read and I want to waste my time on this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at like the aesthetic of it. I'm reading the Goodread reviews. Like I don't know what it is, but like why is it so hard to pick a book?
It's just kind of overwhelming.
Because you have to pick one that you're in the mood for too,
Exactly.
and
Yeah,
have
that
the
you have
brain
the-
capacity to read at the time.
Yep.
Yes.
You know
You have to consider where you will be reading it.
exactly.
Ooh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Here you are at the beach for the next 2
Yeah.
weeks. What are you going to read?
Or are you
Carly
on a
Fortune.
plane where you're gonna have to like just focus on one thing?
Yeah.
I saw a funny TikTok of a girl that was like, I have to read like this on a plane because my book is so spicy.
I know. That's what the Kindles are for.
The amount of I've been on quite a few flights in the last like month, and I see a lot of older men with their books open, and I'm like, what the heck are y'all
Yeah.
reading? Like I get nosy, so I can only
I
imagine
am the
someone gets nosy in my
nosiest
book.
son of a bee on an
Yeah.
airplane. I'm looking at what movies people
Yes.
are
Yes.
watching.
Yes.
I am like, if someone is next to me and they're scrolling their Instagram, I'm like,
What you looking at?
what you looking at?
Wait, have you guys watched?
So annoying.
It's true.
Have you guys watched 365 Days on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay, my friend recommended a friend to watch 365 Days on Netflix on a plane.
No.
And she watched it on a plane, and I was like, dude, that is like not the movie to watch on a plane.
That's illegal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, that's
illegal.
awful.
It's,
I don't even know what this movie
no,
is.
it's like 50 Shades.
It's
Oh.
like 50 Shades, but
Remade, yeah.
on Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
But there are inappropriate movies on planes.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I'm fine with
That's
it.
funny.
So
You do
funny.
you and your little cubby over there, but like, what are you watching?
Yeah, but it's true. It's hard to find that next read. I want to jump into Magnolia Parks. How do you feel about that?
I know. The
I'm
one
hearing a
thing
lot
that
about it.
I am
love
hearing a
Magnolia
lot about
Parks.
it too. The only thing I've heard about it that has deterred, this is my number one deterrence.
Uh-huh.
It feels YA.
Oh yeah, I don't want that.
I've watched all the episodes on Netflix. Magnolia Parks.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's good.
I think
like-
you're thinking of something else.
Oh, am
I think so too.
You're thinking of another Magnolia.
Oh, really?
This is like Gossip Girl.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is what drew me in. But Gossip
sure.
Girl, I mean, it is YA, but they're dealing with pretty mature subjects. In
I think
Gossip
they
Girl.
do in this too.
So we'll see.
I don't
have
know.
to
I
send
think you
it so
should
I
do
can
it.
see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of us should.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll do
Take one
it.
for the team.
I'll start it
Okay,
out.
so if you guys had one book to recommend to a new reader, what would it be?
So someone walks in, they haven't read since they read The Hunger Games in 08.
I know my answer.
2008. Ashley, what are you recommending?
Verity.
Oh,
Colleen Hoover.
bold.
Yep.
Girl, but what if they're not ready for that?
I think you got to hook them the same way that we love Fourth Wing, right?
Okay.
Because it jumps right into action.
Yeah.
I think that you got to hook them with the Colleen Hoover because that's all of our drug.
That's it.
Like that's your gateway drug.
You guys, and you're calling.
That's what I said. She asked me this earlier,
It's the
and
gateway
I
drug.
said, look, if someone has not read, I would recommend either Verity or Ugly Love.
Ugly Love was my backup.
Like, it's so easy to read. There's something happening at every page.
There's surprise.
That
It's a
it
page
sucks
turner.
you in,
Yeah.
you know? So when Carly asked us this weekend, she's like,
Yeah.
guys, I'm in a rut. Like, I don't know
What
what
do
to
I read?
I said, hear me out.
Go
Ugly
back to
Love
basics.
or Verity.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just something about a book that like grasps you in. I was even talking
Yep.
to a client about this. Like, I can't read something that has no like question or like something just thrilling happening.
Yeah,
You know,
I
especially
agree.
when you're in a book rut and you're trying to get out of it. You
You
need
need
that
it.
book that pulls you in. What is your recommendation?
So immediately before I recommend something, I am going to ask them fantasy or no fantasy.
Yeah, that's a good
Because
point.
if they're willing to open the can of fantasy worms, I'm telling them to read Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
it's that good.
But you
It's that good. Now, if they're like, no dragons, because that's a hard rule for some people.
Yeah.
No dragons.
You're like, okay, but what about a
would-
wyvern?
I would tell them to read the book I've told both of you to read is In the Likely Event by Rebecca Yarros.
oh yeah.
Oh.
It's so good.
Okay.
It has a really strong plot line, no like weird like uncomfiness, a great romance story. Like he's in the army.
Yeah.
I got
She's
a
fighting
unicorn.
for her life.
Like that's the thing too.
like
you can't
swoon.
scare them away.
You
You can't
scare 'em
scare them away.
Can't scare them away with too much spice or
Yes.
too dark or too thriller.
Because
like,
what someone
But like enough spice that you're like, this just makes me like, I feel their love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because when someone first starts reading, like you don't know what your type of book is going to be. That is when things start like forming for you. It's like, okay, I'm gonna choose the type. I'm either a fantasy reader. I'm not a fantasy reader. I like more smut. I like less smut.
Yeah.
More plot. Like you just don't know. So
No,
you have to start with
for
a
sure.
very like mid book.
Yep.
Like not great, not bad, just very mid.
Your 3-star
know?
reads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You recommended to me when I first started reading The Things We Left Behind. or
That's
The Things We
another
First
like
Say.
kind of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Checks
It's a
all your
4-star.
boxes.
It was good. I read the whole series. Like, I think a mid book is the way to go.
yeah. In the Likely Event was a 5-star for me.
Really?
Yeah. I think I do need to read some of the Kristen Hanna books. And we've talked about this before, but there's like the Nightingale and the
Yeah.
Women.
Yeah.
They're like zero spice books, but I guess they're just like, they make you feel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm
Yeah.
in need of. None of my books have made me feel
Why don't
anything.
you read that book?
I'm dead inside.
I
feeling
need
numb.
you to read that
I'm
book
feeling
that
numb.
I rated last week.
What
the
one?
sad one that I sobbed.
I do hate crying.
Yeah.
It's really good. But like,
not
if
in a
you want to
mental place for
sob, read it.
Okay. Maybe.
If
I
you
will.
want to like feel.
Okay. Okay. I think
Honestly,
I think I need to.
guys,
I think I
I'm
need
a
to.
big baby.
I need to rip
so,
the
like,
Band-Aid off.
It wasn't even that sad. I think at the end, I just was like, oh my God. I don't know what it was.
Carly's gonna read it and be like, "This was not sad at all."
I
Jenny's like
am
sobbing.
a little emotionally numb,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Carly's
We'll
like,
see if we
"What?"
get there.
You should read that. You should try Verity, honestly.
I do need to try Verity.
Yeah. Even
Very-
if you hate
I think
it.
you both. The way I feel about you guys needing to read In the Likely Event
Yeah.
is how you feel about me needing to read Verity.
And
Yep.
like I like love dark romance. Ashley doesn't like dark romance,
And you
Verity's-
still liked it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very in the middle.
That's as dark as I could go.
Yeah,
Because it's like it's almost thriller. I wouldn't even say dark.
yeah.
A little dark, but it's a page turner.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
times I was only reading it during the day, not at night, because
Yeah.
I'm a baby and I
Me
can't.
too. There's a little scene in there that I'm like spooky.
The top of the stairs.
Yes. Ew, I can't. That made me scared.
Yeah.
That was the only thing. But
You're really selling it here, guys. Really selling it for me.
just maybe you need a little bit of a change of genre.
I think I do.
So I think that's why I'm saying like I think you should.
I told
change-
myself only one more contemporary romance.
Yeah, and then switch it up.
That's what Shiloh
And then it's
says
time
when
to
he
switch.
wants a treat. He's like, one more chocolate. I'm like, okay, one more contemporary romance, and then I'm going to move on.
Yeah, I think you should change your genre
I do.
up a little bit.
I do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Okay, we'll stop talking about books, but I could talk about it forever.
I know, me too.
I love it.
I love it.
Yay.
Well,
okay.
next week we will be back.
Yes.
We'll talk to you guys then.
We have special guests coming up.
Yep.
Some of
Yeah.
us won't be here for summer. Some of us will be here. Our episodes may be a little scattered, but very good nonetheless.
Yeah, we've got a good lineup coming up. It's
Yeah,
good
we're
switch
excited.
ups, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see.
So are we. If there's anything you want us to talk about, though, or if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Bye.